It's Monday, hot unmuted. Hey, Hedrick.
Hey, Alice.
Do anything fun this weekend?
Oh my God, I did something amazing this weekend.
Oh,
Actually, last week and this weekend. I don't know if, well, yeah, I've mentioned it before that I work for the Center for Outcomes Based Contracting at the Southern Education Foundation. We had our convening last year, and the big news coming out of that was that Scott Murray, and if you know about results and you watch kind of the landscape of who's doing what, who's moving the needle for kids, Scott
mm,
Murray might be from Ector ISD in Texas might be a
okay.
name. And he was asked to, he's superintendent emeritus, was asked to testify last week before the Senate. And one of the things that he mentioned, actually, two educators were there, and they both mentioned how outcomes based contracting, the way of procuring that ties student results to the dollars you spend,
Yeah,
that is what's really moving the needle for kids because it really sets everybody up for great conditions at the outset of the concert. It's not just a here, buy these services. All right, see you next year when it's time to renew kind of a thing.
right.
And so that was actually that
Are,
was actually
are
testimony
you
at the Senate
following?
hearing.
Sorry.
Huh?
Are you
Say
following
it.
Amanda Lanasek on LinkedIn?
No.
I hope I'm saying her name right. Now, all of this, she's an IT director or something like that. And so
Mhm.
she gets a lot of people trying to get her to make contracts. And so she puts out all this advice about, like, the first week of school when we have students is not the time to reach out and say, let's have a meeting and a bunch of other things. And so, I'd really be interested to see if we were to ping her on LinkedIn, what her stance is on if she does outcome based contracting.
Oh yeah, please connect me with her. I don't know if you noticed my title. It says Queen of Do This, Not That. Do this means do not just buy services.
Do not
Make
just
sure
buy
that you are
services.
partnering with your vendors to get
Yeah,
the outcomes you need. And they are, believe it or not, they're happy to do it. There were lots of K-12 providers at the convening because when their product works, they have better data and they can sell
yeah,
better. And as a couple of the providers told me, when teachers and superintendents are happy about what a product is doing, they tell their friends and
yeah,
their friends tell their friends, and so on and so on. So, but
yeah.
back to what I did this weekend. My godmother is 81 years old. As a matter of fact, this morning she is already in dialysis and has been for 2 hours, even though she got in at 1 a.m. from Seattle
Mm,
back to Houston after doing a weekend workshop at an Episcopalian church in Seattle. And it's an
wow.
annual event called the Gospel Fest. Her name is Barbara Johnson Tucker, and she's brilliant. Yeah, go and check her stuff out, her music out, order my steps. And I'm just so if did I do something exciting? Yes. And I got the mostest exciting thing is I got to hug my godmommy.
Hey, all right.
Do this, not that. Spend time with the people you love.
Absolutely. Well, that's what I did this
Over
weekend.
over, "Wait, I can't, I have to work," or, "Oh, I can't, I'm too tired," or
Yeah,
prioritize spending time with the people you love.
yeah. No, no second chances. The weather has turned a little bit, so we've been making fire in our backyard and, just having a glass of a beverage with enjoying the
I'm having a
Enjoying the
glass of
milder
beverage.
weather, although I did get a few mosquito bites, and it was Oktoberfest, and we have a wiener dog. So my husband put his lederhosen on and took the wiener dog, who was very popular at the Oktoberfest event. All right.
You have wait, your wiener dog has lederhosen, really?
No, but we're going to order some lederhosen for the dog. My husband has lederhosen that he likes to wear
And
to
if
the
I don't know if you
Oktoberfest.
guys know this, but Alice's husband is also really cute, so I would love to see that.
I'm gonna share you a photo where last night he's just looking like crazy professor with his hair like all sideways and he wears his glasses like down here. We are embracing being 50. We are embracing it.
I think you know
Speaking of
what?
which, it's my 14th birthday here in a couple of weeks. And
Oh,
I
and
really
you're celebrating Victoria Thompson's birthday next week in
yes,
Orlando. I just got
yes.
to see her
I'm
last
flying
week.
on Wednesday to go visit Victoria Thompson and her wife. So I'm very excited.
Woo-hoo.
Supposed to stay for the weekend, but her wife made birthday plans to go on a fun getaway. So I was told go home early. You know what? I get it.
I'm just mad because I didn't get to meet Courtney or Ren because the convening just took up all my time, but I did get to hug Victoria. So if you hug them
So
both for
Ren
me.
is Victoria's dog,
Right,
quite
sorry, yes.
famous. So if you
Yeah, and
follow
you can
Victoria
follow
the
him on
tech,
yep, follow him. Yeah, you can follow Ren on if you follow Victoria Thompson, and she's a wealth of information, so she's a good follow anyway on all the platforms. If you follow her
absolutely.
on LinkedIn or Twitter or X, sorry, you get to see Ren, and Ren is like the cutest. He really is adorable.
So I'll get the dog with the bread pillows. So I'll get to
So here's
hang out
another
with that
do
this
this.
weekend.
Here's another do this or that. Do this, not that. Follow animals on Instagram, not the news. It's healing. Cincinnati Zoo, you rock.
Yeah, that's true. It's like my social media feeds are nothing but politics these days, and believe me, I enjoy a nice cat video instead. All right, so what did I do this weekend is my friend is running for school board, and so I went down and helped put stickers on some Welch's fruit snacks packages. They're not allowed to hand out flyers at whatever town event there is, but they can hand out candy. So we just put some stickers on there. And so I was thinking maybe we could chat about school boards. I mean, it's obviously important that we have good people who are willing to step up and do the hard job and probably volunteer job of being school board member. And what issues would you run on? So she told me one of her platforms is, "Hey, we should listen to the teachers." Well, as a teacher, that sounds awesome. Is that electable? And so I thought maybe we could just brainstorm a few ideas of good people who maybe are not really politically savvy. They don't follow all the politics and always know, like, here's all the platforms and things that you have to do, but to encourage, like, here's some stuff that maybe you want to talk to your community about, see where they're at, and here's how you can support schools if you want to run for school board. So, any thought?
Let's see, pre-coffee thoughts. I'm gonna go back to I'll take outcomes-based contracting for 500, Alice. No,
All right.
seriously. Seriously, that is one of the things that I was talking to a friend in Jackson Public Schools, and she was saying that when she talks to her school board, because they've seen such success, now they ask, "Okay, so is this an outcomes-based, are we tying this to tying
Yeah,
public funding to student results is a win, and so that's gonna be my big
absolutely.
push. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna connect you with her so you can help. I want her to get elected. I think that would be great.
Okay, this is another do this, not that. If you're in a school and you have because, school boards are generally people who have time to do it, they may or may not have educational backgrounds, which is not always, but it's sometimes why we are, as educators, a little curious
Frustrated.
about some of the conversations and choose my words wisely, curious about some of the decisions that come out of those meetings. So the best thing to do is to be an educator and get elected. And the best thing that we can do as administrators and staff at a school is to ensure that somebody who has those aspirations and dreams has the space and time to do that. That means a reduced class load. Yeah, I know it's going to have to take some creative administrative magic, but it's possible. Or cover all the duties, or give them an actual planning period instead of a PLC meeting.
So they can
Find
run
a
for
way.
office for school board?
For school board, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If every district would support one or two teachers to run for school board, we would have better school boards. Just so that at least one voice of education.
Disagree with you, but help me out here. Isn't that a conflict of interest? I mean, the school shouldn't be promoting any particular school board members, and then you can't be a teacher and a school board member, can you?
Yes.
I used to be on the school board and I had to resign when
Okay,
I
now that
started.
might you then the laws may be different in different places. The laws may be different in different places.
Interesting. All
Yeah.
right, well, let's talk issues. So I gave her some advice to look up the AI policy, and if they don't have an AI policy, go get some information on different school AI policies and make that one of the talking points is to know what kinds of AI we want teachers and students using in school and talking with parents about where do we do traditional and where do we fit in responsible AI use.
What is that big word you used before AI use?
I have no idea.
Responsible. It was responsible. Just want to say that. And actually, on Edutopia, I wrote an article, Four Simple Steps for Crafting AI District Policy.
Mm,
And it's a great place to pull some talking points from, and to, if you don't have an AI policy in your district, to get started with that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then, we kind of touched on it before. It's like the third rail is cell phones. But, where do we come down on technology in schools? Please, if you're running for school board, read the tech plan. They have one. And
And in many cases, it hasn't been updated in like the last 10 years.
it
Oh my
needs to
god.
be updated if the tech plan does not involve AI.
So do contracts. People, do you I have said this on so many of our episodes, but I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna keep hammering it home. If you do not have third-party provider information sharing agreements updated for AI, then you are losing out, because the data may be anywhere. Student data may be anywhere, because all of these
I
wonderful platforms that we've been using, they don't suddenly create their own AI. They're using third parties.
Yeah,
So
just keep
please look at your third-party data
yeah.
sharing
I
agreements.
am definitely concerned about all of the AI integration that has popped up overnight without, having a history of responsibility that we can turn to. So I'm very cautious about new AI company, new ed tech tool that puts AI in it. So it's something I'm in complete agreement with you. Make sure you read all of the terms of service and see how they're using third party applications and what happens with that information as well. And what happens if tomorrow they go belly up? Some of these companies are not going to last. So that's normal. That's not new, but you should always have that contingency. All right. Anything else that you think that you would give advice to someone who's running for school board?
Just going back to when you said listening to teachers, shaping that in a way that addresses pain points
Mm,
from a I would say generally from a fiscal standpoint. Anytime you can show that something is fiscally responsible, you are going to get the ears of the people on a board, because at the kind not at the bottom line, it's all about money. We wanna move the needle for kids, but we can only do it if we have this much money or that much money. So, if you can tie public funding to anything that positively impacts the school district, that's gonna be a win.
yeah. Now, remember, it's not the teachers necessarily who do the voting. I mean, some of them are in the area. So, if you have somebody that you know who's running for school board, reach out to them, see how you can support them, but then make sure that you do talk to some teachers about what issues they're seeing. Because if you're not a teacher and you don't know what's happening in the schools, you don't necessarily know what are the issues that are affecting teacher retention. Honestly, that is a biggie. Our kids deserve some level of stability, and if they're not sticking around, that's not good for kids. And we talked about this last time is if you've my cat just came over and smacked my dog in the nose, distracted me. I have no idea what I was talking about. So I'm going to tell you this. Victoria the Tech was talking on Twitter. She does stalk some mommy parenting forums, and some teachers had quit. So apparently 5 teachers have left, and the parents were wanting to demand to know why the teachers left. And she's like, how do you subtly say none of your business?
Wow.
But
You say it is a FERPA issue. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to share the personal reasoning, somebody's personal decision, and the reasoning behind it. That
it doesn't matter. I mean, the teacher's not there. That's all you need to know. But if you want to know why teachers are unhappy and they don't want to be there, why they would leave mid contract, whose job is the school board? That, like individual parents, I get it. You want to know. We all love to gossip, but it is the school board's job to be like, we have teachers want to leave mid contract. What things are we doing there they don't feel supported, or what things do we need to have in place that doing what's best for kids also is doing what's best for the people that support kids, because if they leave, it's 2 things. We were talking before about teachers being replaced by AI, and I feel like school is not the place where you can just learn a bunch of facts, especially in 2025, but it's those projects and those great conversations and discussions and getting deep on things that a real person brings to the table. And as a class working together. So, like, I'm not into kids being on a computer self-paced through something that's not personalized learning. I think we're gonna see a little more personalized in the personalized learning with AI, but I never liked this self-paced thing per se. Like, part of it can be self-paced, but, like, kids should be having conversations. They should be interacting. They should be doing something meaningful and interesting that's not just canned curriculum of people talking on a video that's boring.
I mean, that is absolutely true, but so many times what I'm seeing is that whether it's AI or not, that's not happening anyway. So that's not an AI problem.
It's not an AI problem. My fear is that is if teachers leave that the solution is, well, let's just put them on some AI computer program as opposed to having a real person because we can't get a real person.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
supporting the real people so that you don't fall into that trap is what I'm saying is going to be important. Now, then leadership coming in and saying, are you replaceable? There are these computer systems. There are these things that can do what you're doing. And in some ways, I don't wanna say better, that's definitely not what I mean because it won't be better, but better in the sense that it does differentiate for each kid and do some data metrics that a one single person can't do. Supporting teachers in really bringing that human element back to the classrooms, and letting that be the measurement, not, "Did you write the standard on the board?" I'm still horrified. My husband, he texted me, "I got observed today and I had the standard on the board, so win." That was literally the only thing he told me about the observation. I'm like, how did it I know that wasn't really what she was looking for, the principal, and she's great, but the impression was that's what was important. That's the impression that was put forward, was not whether or not the kids are doing something meaningful, not whether or not they're engaged in a great conversation discussion, not whether or not they're tackling real world problems. He's like, "Check, I have the standard written on the board." And so sometimes complex things can be boiled down to, like, compliance check marks, and compliance check marks is never gonna make a big impact for kids.
Let's go back to your school board and connect the dots because a lot of
Okay.
times the reason and I am completely in agreement with what you said. What I find, however, is that administrators have so much on their plates that they can't do an actual observation. All they can do
Yes.
is run a list and run through their 10 classrooms so they can get
Yes.
back and put out some fires. So what we could do as a school board person is also talk to administrators and find out what their pain points
Yeah.
are, trying to do the dance between campus-based needs and requirements from central management
Yeah.
offices and find out how we can take more off their plate so that they can look for something more than students were seated, students were on task, the
Yeah.
standard was on the board, and the lesson plan was written out and hanging in its clipboard on the right.
Yeah.
Like, just but
I
yeah,
know. I know.
less is more, folks, less is more.
Less is more. Yeah, I woke up today, I had a conversation with my husband, the principal is new, and what she's having to do to try and, build a positive environment at the school when they're new in there, and I just thinking, "I'm so glad I'm not an administrator." That's a hard job.
Yeah,
I can't
never.
imagine coming in, in this particular situation, the previous principal was escorted out of the building.
Do this, not that. Don't get escorted out of the building or do anything. Oh my god, I forgot. I have to go back to those parents. Parents, don't worry about why the teachers all left en masse.
Mm,
Go and find out ask what the solution is. What is the solution to ensuring that my student has continuity and stability in instruction during
yeah, I
this
love
time
that.
of transformation? That's what you really wanna know. Why they left?
Those are the conversations. You
Yep,
know,
yep,
you have every right to ask about the quality of what's going on in terms of continuity and ensuring that we have high quality staff. What parents don't have the right to know is people's individual employment HR issues.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. We're running out of time here. What time do we end at?
It's time.
It's time.
It's
Okay, so
8:10.
we did one thing on the list. So now we have a few more for next time.
We'll save it for next time. Yep, that
That's
sounds
all
like a
right.
plan.
Less is more. Wasn't that what we decided?
Yes. Have a great Monday, everybody.
Have a great Monday.